And we'll go 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to another episode of Questlog. It's a weekly show about video games old and new. My name is Tyler Everett and I am joined this week by the Brian Maxwell.
Let's get on theme here, Tyler. It's spooky Questlog.
I don't have a graphic for this. It's Spook Phillips.
Well, you
and
really nailed
Brian.
You mailed that one in a little, Tyler. I'm sorry to be critical, but can we give that another take, maybe?
I
from
thought
the top?
Spook Phillips was good on the spot. I wasn't.
That was
Spook
pretty
Phillips
good.
was good, but you were
Yeah.
just like, ooh.
Yeah, and it's Brian Scares. Well, I'm sorry. Let's try this again.
All right.
Brian, Luke, it's great to see you. I'm glad you're here.
Good
Great to
evening.
see you.
It's a week. It's it's 2018. Yeah. It's cold out.
Not a week.
It's rainy out. Took my kid trick or treating today. They had a little haunted walk through a park in town where I live. That was pretty good.
I have a question, Tyler.
Yeah.
How many times have you taken her trick-or-treating?
Those times now.
Okay, I thought it was at least 2, yeah.
It's rained both times too. So thanks, Michigan. Appreciate that. Crane took issue with the amount of trick or treating my daughter's getting to do, and I feel like he's just jealous.
Yeah, he's salty, Crane.
Here's the thing, I didn't know about this when I was a kid. I only went trick or treating the one time, on Halloween. But these days, you got all kinds of cool walks that are organized. You got your trunk or treats. You got all kinds of stuff. So
See, I don't have a problem with any of that.
yeah, more candy,
More
right?
opportunity to get free candy there is,
Hell
the
yeah.
happier I am.
Yeah,
Get after it.
it's generally how I live my life. The more candy, the better.
I would always do trick-or-treating on Halloween, and then we did a Halloween camping trip as well.
Ooh, that's good. I can get down with that.
Those were great times.
Was it
Question.
Halloween-themed camping? Were you, like, sitting around a campfire with a flashlight under your chin? Being like, and all you had was a hook.
All the campsites would actually decorate, and then you would go from campsite to campsite trick-or-treating with your hook, yes.
Oh. All right.
It's a pirate-themed ghost story.
Yeah. Yar.
Yarp.
Question. I have a question I would like to pose.
For whom?
What's the first thing you throw away when you're going through that candy bag? You're going through.
Oh, those orange.
black,
Yup.
shitty.
just
yep.
what are they? They're like peanut
They're like
butter or
peanut
something.
butter,
Yeah.
stick in your teeth, taste
Fuck
bad.
those. They're just wax. They're like peanut butter wax.
Yeah.
Yep. Fuck those right to hell.
I'm pretty sure they were made in the late 1800s in just one big batch, and they're still trying to get them out.
Yeah.
Like they've never
Yeah.
been made since 1893.
I used to always get into the bit-o honey with like knowing that I'm like this is future dental work that I'm prepping for right now because I think those were made around the same time. I think the bit-o honey got all poured out in the late 1800s and it's just been circulating ever since. Because those things are
Gotta
made
say,
out of just the worst.
Like little baggies of popcorn too. Not.
I'll tell you what.
Thank you.
We went through the little haunted walk today, and the worst thing to hand out is an apple. I'm sorry, fuck you. If you hand out an apple, just straight up, fuck you.
I'm pro apple.
You're pro
I like
apple?
apples.
For Halloween,
I like
though?
apples. For Halloween, no.
I love an apple,
mean,
but I'll
Give
buy
me a
my own
Snickers, but
damn
if I
apples.
get an apple,
It's like putting a toothbrush in my Halloween bag. It's like
Or a penny.
you want your house to get egged because that's how you're
Pennies.
going to get your house egged.
Fuck getting pennies.
Yeah. Like
only-
pennies might have been awesome back in 1927 when
Yeah. I mean, find some garbage around the house to give these kids.
You know what
Yeah.
else was also made in 1927?
what's that?
Fucking candy corn.
See, okay, I'm pro candy corn.
Oh my god.
I can go to a dark place where I enjoy some candy corn once in a while,
Yeah.
but I
It's
never
not
feel
much.
good about myself.
I usually make the mistake and eat candy corn to the point of where it feels like it's kind of burning in my mouth.
So 2 or 3.
Yeah, Yeah, it's
Okay.
just like it's just kind of waxy, chalky. It's not good, but for some reason I enjoy it. I don't know. I can't really
We're
defend
getting
it.
into
About
the
candy
worst candies. What do you feel about circus peanuts?
Against.
I've never been a fan. I mean, like, I
Yeah.
think I've tried to eat a couple of them and just been like, this isn't worth my time. That's kind of how I feel. Like, I'll eat a marshmallow or something instead if I want to, if I had to. Okay, let's flip it. What's the best? What's the gold prize when you're going through your sack?
I'm
Or
happy to
are
see
we-
some Reese's peanut butter cups.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
are we
in any
excluding like the
form.
full-size candy bars?
I don't think you have to do that. Like, whatever house is doing that, like the doctor or lawyer that's able to hand out full-size candy bars, like, psh, good on those people. They're paying it back. They're giving something back to the community.
Give me a full-size Snicker bar.
Yeah, I'll take that. Full-size anything's probably top of the list. That's probably top tier. I like seeing like some Sour Patch Kids, like little packages of those. Some
Like cheap
nerds.
little boxes of nerds that you can just one
Nerds,
shot.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
shots of nerds.
That does
Nerds?
feel like doing drugs,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
Yep.
It's just like, here's some super sour
Give it a line
sugar.
of nerds. Yeah.
Yeah, just mainline nerds all night. I think I'm in the minority, but I like Smarties.
Oh, you're not
Yeah.
a minority here. I love Smarties.
Okay.
Nah, I don't like Smarties.
Smarties are
What a-
great.
What a diverse bunch of
Yeah, look at
middle-aged
us.
white
We're all
men we
getting
are.
together. Look, if there's hope for the Middle East, is all I'm saying. Like, if we can come together from such varied candy appreciation backgrounds, I think they can solve that. Is all I'm saying.
Yep. There's a chance for peace.
Yeah.
Should have taken us out of that nosedive about 30 seconds ago.
Episode 97, folks, or 98 rather. That's where it all comes together.
So,
Yeah.
video games, huh?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
I
You guys,
think we could just do a Halloween candy cast.
Yeah.
Candy just-
I watched
That won't
season 2 of
spiral out of control.
Castlevania.
Yeah, that's a
out.
spooky
That's a
thing.
That's out. Yeah,
How many
I watched the
episodes
first
are in that
episode.
season?
I think there's 8.
Okay. It's about the same.
It was only 4 last time,
Oh,
but
it's 4?
it's still
That was
pretty
6.
short. Yeah, it was 4 like 20-minute episodes.
So hold up.
So far, so good.
I would like to watch that. That interested me greatly. It was like watching. It's kind of like watching a Diablo thing get played out in real time or something.
Yeah.
It reminded me of a D&D story. I don't know. It was well done. I like it.
Yeah,
I'll have to
I can
check
give
out
it a
season
shot.
2. First
Sounds
one
good.
doesn't take much. If you watch the
No.
first episode and don't dig it,
It's like an hour and a half to watch the first season.
yeah. And it's good. It's real good.
It is pretty good.
But yeah, so we'll have to check that out. You guys play any spooky games? You ever get into that mindset during this time of year? Or ever? I
I've
don't.
tried dabbling in a few.
Yeah.
Spooky
Fear
games,
was a pretty
maybe.
good game.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be more of like a horror first-person shooter.
Hmm.
It was a good game. I wouldn't say it was very scary though. I
don't
did
play horror
try
games, but-
Amnesia, Dark Descent.
Hmm.
Guys get into that at all?
I did not.
I think that'd be my kind of thing.
Nah. Scary games aren't really my thing either.
Yeah, they're
Being
not
scared
spooky.
in general isn't something I'm very big a fan of. We're missing Kring tonight. Aaron Kring's not here yet. He may show up later.
He likes all that bullshit.
But he would be like, he'd be the poster child for it.
I do try watching a lot of scary movies around this time of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Like last year, I watched the first 3 Hellraisers, I think, for the first time, and like, those are actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
This year, I watched the first Halloween movie. It's awful.
They just remade that. There's a new Halloween, or not
No,
remade.
they remade
It's a sequel.
the sequel.
That's right. Yeah, they like basically retconned everything. Said like, okay, all the sequels didn't happen, and this is the real sequel.
Yeah. But yeah, the original isn't actually that great.
Hmm.
Just doesn't, like, the first 45 minutes doesn't seem to really go anywhere.
I think we're trained to expect the action and stuff a lot quicker now. Like, I think those movies were all about like it building up to that. You had to show the teenagers, sinning before they got their before they got to reap what they sowed.
Yeah, that's supposed to be the whole thing. Is like, the teenagers are frolicking around and doing their stuff, and then they all die. And it's like
premarital sex.
they're not even doing that bad of a stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on the movie, but yeah.
They had a cigarette or two.
Yeah, well, smoking kills, Luke, don't you know?
Straight to hell.
Mike Myers is gonna get you. Anyway, yeah, I don't ever play anything spooky. I do like a good Halloween event in games, though. Played a little bit of the old World of Warcraft this week, even though I haven't been much at all recently.
Their Halloween events are fantastic. Headless Horsemen.
They are, yeah.
I always enjoyed all their seasonal events. Yeah.
So right now, there's like a thing where you can go around and you can do some trick or treating. You get masks and stuff. There's some neat things going on there. I didn't really do a lot of that though. I don't know. I've been really not feeling WoW again. This seems to be a pattern. Is like I will get the new expansion when it comes out, play it really hard for the first month, and then during the second month or leading up to it, right around this time of year, I fall way off and then come back for like the last patch or something at the end, towards the end of the expansion.
It waxes and wanes like the moon.
Yeah. This time it feels a little worse though. This expansion's getting criticized pretty heavily for.
It's real grindy, isn't it?
There's a lot of grindy stuff. There's a lot of RNG. So your your motivation to redo content is not because it's fun necessarily. It's because I gotta pull that lever again and try my hand at the loot wheel again. They introduced some new systems like a few expansions back that have been mostly good, but are now like with the way progression works and the way all these other system works, like they're kind of compounding problems that already exist. So one of the things is gear can Warforge or Titanforge. So it's essentially like Diablo has a system like this too, I think. Don't they, Luke? Like where a good weapon will drop, but then it's like, well, if it's not, what's the word I'm looking for? Ancient. Yeah. It's a lot like that system. So it's like, well, it's an item level, 300 weapon that drops, but if it Warforges, it'll be 305.
Right, you need the super version of the really good
and then
weapon.
If it Titanforges, it's 15 item levels higher, right? So, yeah, it's like, well, the weapon that I need dropped, but, well, shit, it didn't Warforge, so guess I got to keep running this, and hopefully the best in slot item will drop. And it's just, it's not, I don't know.
That was when I tuned out of D3 really hard. Was when
it got to that point.
Very specific pieces of gear that I need to just, looking for this one sword tonight. Fuck that.
Yep.
You mean the thing that I loved about it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. There's parts where that works out well. The other thing is like there's some cool stuff happening with the story. The part I care about is the war back home. Like these war fronts. That's what you're seeing on the screen now. Is I'm doing a war front, and you're back in the Arathi Highlands, a zone that you quest through at like level late 20s, early 30s, that kind of area. And they like redid the whole zone and did this cool warfront thing, and it's all kind of all right, but it's like a one-shot thing that you do, every few weeks, and it's the same thing. You just kind of do it over and over again. It's not the focus point. Like the focus point is all you're on these new islands, helping blood trolls and helping. It's all this new stuff. They always have to introduce a new land for you to go conquer. And that part of the story just does nothing for me. Like, I don't care about any of that. I want to go back to the zones that I know, and this battle between the Horde and the Alliance is what I care about. So I don't know. I'm kind of bumming on it. I think I will probably not renew my subscription this month. This one I paid for with gold. I didn't actually pay with money, so I used some in-game gold to get this month. And I'm thinking like, I'll let it sit for a while. I'll let them work out some stuff and maybe tune back into it later. But Yeah, ran the Headless Horseman dungeon a couple times, didn't get anything cool out of it, and it's just like reinforcing this idea of like it's all kind of a lottery. It's like, hey, queue up, do this thing. Did you get the cool thing out of it? No, okay, try again tomorrow. You get another pull tomorrow, and it's like, man, I don't know, the part of the game that is like work on your character and pick your talents and do all that stuff is kind of gone. You just don't do that anymore. You look up, okay, well, I want to be an arms warrior, so you go find what the right build to choose is, and it just doesn't feel it doesn't feel like an RPG very much anymore.
To me, it felt that way when they redid the talent trees.
Mm-hmm.
To where it's like you get to pick from 3 talents, and that happens every 5 levels or 10 levels, something like that.
Right, instead of it being like an actual tree that builds off of itself and stuff, yeah.
And their whole thing was, oh, well, this is going to give you more variety in your builds because you don't have to follow this exact tree. It's like, no, you're taking away all these options now.
Mm-hmm.
People are just going to follow the same optimized build if they want to.
Yep, I remember my whole thing when I built my rogue. My first character was like, I'm going to be a combat rogue. I'm going to be able to go up to warriors and disarm them and just fuck them over. Like, most of the time, rogues were not able to go toe-to-toe with a warrior. They were designed to go assassinate the squishies, right? Mm-hmm. The cloth wearers. And my whole thing was like, I'm going to try to subvert that expectation and show up in a big warrior's face, disarm him, and then cleave him and his buddy down or whatever. And that was really fun for me because it was kind of people didn't really play those back as much in vanilla. So I don't know. That I agree with you, Luke. I think that maybe some of the modern things that they've introduced have not really been for the better. I think for most players it's probably true that stuff has streamlined a lot of things. It's easier to get into than it was before, and that's definitely a problem with a game that has been around for 14 years. You do have to kind of trim some of that stuff down, but I don't know. We'll see.
I liked it when they added quest markers and easier tracking of the quests and make you don't have to find Mancrick's wife off in the distance and live in a little valley.
Right.
I'll kind of give you an area to search for.
Mm-hmm.
That was a nice quality of life adjustment. But
right.
when you go through and start watering down the talent trees and even the stats on some of the gear, like if I remember right, they went through and reduced a lot of that stuff as well. So where like tanks didn't have to have defense anymore.
Right.
And you just got more strength, and that upped your defense.
Right.
Why am I getting more strength? That's more of an actual DPS stat.
Yeah, they took away a lot of that stuff now. You don't look for stamina and gear anymore. It's just there. Like you don't look for there's not a whole lot of stat hunting you do. You just kind of get whatever the highest item level thing is, and
yeah, that's what it came down to be. Yeah. Okay, well, this item is more supposed to be for DPS, but it's got a higher item level than my actual tank piece, so it's an upgrade for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It don't sound good.
No.
It all contributes to this feeling that, like, it just feels like they try new stuff just to do new things. Like, it feels like, well, we got an expansion, so we got to change some stuff. It's like, do you need to change... Do you need to change, like, core parts of the game, though? Like, I don't know. I feel like I would fall somewhere in between the guys who just want it to be exactly like vanilla back when it was, who were all excited for classic. And, and the guys who are just, like, loving every new thing. I'm somewhere in the middle where I definitely dig a lot of the direction of the new stuff, but I wish there was more attention paid to your individual class and your building of your character and that kind of stuff. It feels like
for me
that has been homogenized.
The best balance came in Wrath of the Lich King. Between having
a lot of people's
characters
favorite
between characters that you had to fine tune and tweak and had some customization in versus the hand holding.
Yeah, so we'll see. I'll check back in on it later probably, but I think once this month is up, I'll be done with it for a while. But I'll be keeping my eyes on it because I'm always interested in what they're doing, and Blizzard usually gets it right eventually, so I'll give them the benefit of the doubt here. But other than that, we played a little Sea of Thieves last night, Luke. That's the other thing I played this week.
Yep. Did a cargo run and some Order Souls and sunk a few boats.
Yeah.
The whole Forsaken Shores content update is not my favorite still.
Yeah.
I don't like volcanoes. It's an ugly area. It's not great. The customizations aren't what I thought they were going to be from when I saw them in the early releases.
There's the biggest problem that I have with it is the gameplay loop right now is go to these new islands, wait for them to start erupting, sail away from them, and then wait.
And then wait 5 to 10 minutes.
Wait for the island to stop erupting and then come back and finish what you were doing. And that doesn't feel great in an action pirate game. Every other threat in the game so far is an active thing. Like, if there's a storm, you don't have to run away from a storm. Like, you might want to avoid it because it's going to be a minor inconvenience, but you don't have to. You can sail through a storm, and it'll be tough. It'll be challenging. You have to, fight the wind. You have to fight the waves. Lightning will strike your boat, and you'll have to repair it, but it doesn't do a ton of damage, So, like, if your crew is active and going through all that, you'll be fine. Same thing, like, if you're on an island and a storm shows up, you just anchor the boat and make sure it doesn't go anywhere, and we'll come back and check on it maybe once just to make sure that it hasn't gotten holes in it, but it's not going to fill up and sink by the time that we need to finish our voyage.
It's a challenge that breaks up the monotony.
Right. It's something you have to be aware of. But these volcanoes, it's like, no, once the island starts erupting, if your boat is there, it's going to get sunk. Like, it's going to get hit with giant rocks that are basically gunpowder barrels that explode and will kill your whole crew. And it'll put 4 holes at a time on your boat and sink it in a couple seconds. So it's very different than any of the other threats in the game.
Are you supposed to be in there, like, somehow dodging this stuff?
No,
like, I'm trying to figure out what the other side would say. Like, if you talk to someone who loves this, what would they say to you?
I think the idea is that what I've heard so far is, like, because this is a major criticism, a lot of people are saying that the tuning is just off. Like, the frequency and severity that these volcanoes start erupting with is ridiculous. Like,
have them damage you but not blow you up.
Right, like
have it not go for as long.
Yeah, there's things like the distance from which, like, the range on these things can get you from what feels like a mile away. And we were saying last night that we think they maybe tweaked that.
I think they tweaked that
because it feels like maybe they don't have quite the range they did before.
Is that what's happening on the screen here, off in the distance?
Yeah, you can see one of these exploding, and like that thing's far away, and it's throwing stuff like pretty. Like, we're far enough away to miss it, but not by much.
Just the way you're describing it, like, it doesn't sound like it would be fun for anyone.
Yeah,
if this happens and you have to not be there at all, like,
you can't be anywhere in it. And when it first came out, it seemed like it would block off like a quarter of the new area.
Right.
Like,
yeah,
you can't be anywhere in that section of the map, or else you're gonna get sunk.
So,
and they introduced the rowboats. Their idea was that you would basically anchor your boat outside of the range of this, and then use the rowboat into the island.
But are they quicker and like more maneuverable so they can dodge these big blasts that are coming at you? Is that the thinking? Or
I mean, they're more maneuverable for sure, but the idea, I think, is that, you can't. What it sounded like is their idea was you won't be able to leave your boat here. Like, you won't be able to finish your voyage with your boat this close to the island, which is true. The problem is like, it's so far away, the range on these things, that like it doesn't make sense to take a rowboat out there either, because if your rowboat takes any damage, you might not be able to paddle it back and forth. Like it you can use those up. They're like a consumable item. It's like each time you row it, I think it takes a little bit of wear and tear, and eventually it'll just run out and it'll just sink. So like I have concerns that like we might row to the island. It takes enough incidental damage in the process that we can't then make it back to the boat. Yeah, now our boat's way out there, and someone else shows up and just sinks it, and we're nowhere near it.
Do you really want to be a 2 to 3 minute row away from your boat?
No, like
with someone else who just sail up to it.
Yeah, that seems
insane. Can you imagine
if
we came across a boat that was just in the middle of nowhere with no people on it?
Yeah, it wouldn't have anything on it. Yeah. So
you'd be sailing it off into the distance.
That's true. I've done that. But I've heard Rare respond to that and say, well, we've kept an eye on, reports of this, and we hear the claims about the difficulty and maybe tuning that. But it is meant to be a challenging zone. It's meant to be a difficult zone, and all of the loot that you get in this area is worth like double what it would be normally. So you dig up a chest that normally sells for 200 gold, and over here it's worth 500-600 gold sometimes. So it's twice or sometimes even more.
And so here is my theory about why the volcanoes are like this.
What's that?
And it ties directly back to the gold income.
Mm-hmm.
What they're doing is they are basically decreasing what would be like your gold per minute income.
Okay.
So they have this loot that's worth more money.
Right.
But now
it's harder to get.
You don't do it in a few minutes. You have to wait 5 to 7 minutes for this volcano to stop going off.
Mm-hmm.
So that just decreases how much gold you're actually getting in an income. So they're balancing what people are actually earning in a very artificial and lame way.
I don't know. I feel like
if it's not fun to do, then I don't know, like if it's double the money but it takes you 5 times as long, that's not a good deal.
Well,
especially if it's not fun to do.
That's the part where it's like we've all basically said, okay, cool, once we earn all the cosmetics for the zone, we don't have to come back. Like we can just roam around the normal stomping grounds and have fun playing it,
Which is what we finished last night, as we did the combinations.
Approach the new content as like, we'll just fucking slog through it and then leave it alone forever. That's not what you want.
It's not what you want.
Which is a real bummer, because the biggest complaint so far has been like the content that they add doesn't stay in the game in the same capacity that it was introduced. So like the Hungering Deep came out and introduced the Megalodon. And, like the Meg fight is still there, but the whole quest leading up to fighting her and like this feeling of like getting a reward for doing it and all that is not in the game anymore. So she's just an ambient threat that can show up and fuck up your boat, which she did last night while we were fighting another ship, and she came and started attacking us, and it was a big pain in the ass. But that's a threat in the world that we had to decide, like, okay, do we want to just run away from this thing, or do we want to stand and fight it? So anyway, I'm getting off topic. But those things kind of come into the game and then get reintroduced in ways that are slightly different from their original intention. This expansion, this add-on, is just kind of, here's a whole new zone in the game, and this is how you play in that zone. So that won't change. That'll be the first kind of permanent thing that just kind of is in the world as is and isn't going to go away once this event is over. And it just kind of feels like, well...
It could go away.
It could, like, yeah, they could just close right back up, and that would be all right.
But I'm good.
So, I don't know. I don't have a great way of improving it. We talked about, like, it would be kind of neat if maybe there was just, like, 3 islands plopped around the normal map.
Yes.
And, like, one of these volcanoes being active is now, like, oh, shit, that whole area of the map is now super dangerous, as opposed to having, like, one whole side of the map that is just always dangerous. That might be more interesting,
Yeah, because I think I said before, my other complaint is this is fragmented the player base between those that want to go to the Forsaken Shores and those that want to sail off into the vanilla area.
Yeah.
So now you don't have that interaction anymore.
Yeah, the map's bigger, and it's like, well, do we want to go hunt people in Volcano Land and see if there's anyone out there, or do we want to just hang out here? And, you know, maybe the 6 boats that are normally on the server, 5 of them are all over in the Forsaken Shores, and we're, you know, sailing around by ourselves now. I don't know. There's tuning that should probably happen to make it more enticing to be over there, is I guess what I would say as a closing point on that. But yeah, other than that, it was a good time last night. What have you guys been up to? What have you been playing?
Well, there's another game that has a Halloween event going on, Tyler.
Yeah, what's that?
Yeah, Pokemon Go.
Yeah, that's true. we did do some Pokemon, yep.
Yeah. I won't say much about it, but yeah, they do a Halloween event every year. The increased ghost spawns around the area. It's always kind of fun. They have special quests that are always Halloween themed. Well, at least this year they are.
Yeah, I like the increased spawns of like all the little ghost guys, and you know, you got your Ghastlies and Haunters and all that stuff popping up.
The Duskulls.
Yeah, it's good.
Hounders.
They did introduce a new raid boss, a legendary raid boss, which is a ghost dragon, which is cool. I got one of those. Yeah. So yeah, it's cool. They're definitely updating that and keeping fresh stuff coming. So that was good.
Gengar's coming out as a special raid.
Got to get your Gengars, man.
You may not be hyped for it, but I am. Giving him a special attack.
I don't know. I think it's fine. I think it'll be neat. I'm hoping to find a chance to do it. My biggest complaint is that they do these things where it's like, yeah, it's a special event for 3 hours on a Saturday. You can find this special raid that's going to happen. Hope you can make it. Like, I probably won't be able to, but that is neat.
It's a lot of people's complaints, and I don't think there's really a good solution to it. So, I mean, you want to make it a special event to get people out there and play together. So, I mean, you kind of schedule it a few weeks in advance.
I miss you more.
But it's not something you really do for like a week or two,
Mr. T.
because then no one's going to just get together for it.
That ain't special.
I feel like you could do it for a weekend. Just, you know, like they do this thing where all the raids only happen during the hours of like 7 to 7. So it's like 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And there's days where I don't get home until like 6:30, and I'm gone by 6:30 in the morning. Like, I ain't got time to do those usually, and I sure as fuck don't have time on the weekends. So it's like, I don't know. It would be cool.
It's really bad in the summertime when it doesn't get dark until 9:30, 10 o'clock, and the raids are ending at like 6:37. It's like, I've still got 3 hours of daylight left. Why are the raids ending?
Yeah. So
they definitely need to tweak that, but I don't mind the special 3-hour raids.
There you go. Caught some other monsters, or whatever you did. What do you do with them? Hatch them? You hatch them in Monster Sanctuary.
Monster Sanctuary.
Yeah, so I was on Reddit the other day, like you do. And there was this guy who posted in r/gaming, and he's like, "Yo, I quit my job to make this game full time, and here's a little trailer of it. If you get a chance, check it out." All right, so I watched the trailer, and it's a 2D Metroidvania monster collecting turn-based combat game.
Yep, you sent me a link. I'm like, I like a lot of those words. That checks a lot of my boxes.
Those are Brian Maxwell buzzwords right there.
Yeah.
So there's a demo on Steam, so I downloaded it, checked it out, and it's not bad. It's exactly that. You start out with one pet. I picked a firebird, and you start running around and you start fighting slimes.
Like a car, like a Firebird car. Just drive around.
Yep, I got.
It's got a Hemi in it. What is it? I don't know. I'm sorry. Anyway,
you're out of your element.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna try.
Yeah, I like the art style though. It reminds me of like like a Terraria in a way.
I played
Yeah,
it
but
for about 20 minutes right before the show because I wanted to have like some idea.
Right.
I went with green fire toad, by the way. That was my animal, my spirit
Blue
animal.
Firewolf.
Green fire.
The blue
Blue
fire. Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you name your man's?
I named my man QWERTY, and I named the wolf Wazda.
Nice. My guy's name is. Oh, go ahead.
Mine is Fire McFireface.
Oh, for the for the
Yep.
bird or the guy.
I got the little from the bird.
Okay.
And then I got the little blob guy. His
Mhm.
name is Bob.
That's good. Bob
And then
the
I
Blob.
got the little cat that you can get. I named him Meowth.
Okay. My man's name is Reginald Ford. And my toad's name is Hypno. So Hypno Toad. It's a Futurama reference.
I like it.
Yeah. So anyway, it's got some neat stuff going on. Like it has all the Pokemon elements of like, oh, yep, we battle these little
Different elements
guys and
This beats that, and this one's weak to that,
Uh-huh.
and this one's strong to this. And
I'm like, oh, I bet
I
my
like
bubble
how-
attack
that.
is super effective to that fire slug. And
I
it
like how it
was.
just tells you right off the bat. Like, this is
Yep.
strong against this and weak against this.
Yeah.
I like having like a roster that I can swap out monsters at the start of the battle.
Yeah. Mhm.
You know, like you give them gear. They've all got skill trees, or they level up, and you assign points. I like that, so you can kind of like customize them.
We were talking about skill trees just a minute ago, and this has the old WoW style, put your
does.
points in,
I like it.
unlock these trees. Yeah, that's cool.
What I like is that the skill tree isn't just your fire attacks do 5% more damage.
Right.
Yeah,
It'll
there's a little
actually
bit of
have, like, a
variance.
different effect to it.
Hmm.
Like for my blob guy, I was building him as a support, so he has a heal, but I modified his heal so that it does something else. And then the cat guy can now put an overtime heal on everyone at once instead of just one person. It like dynamically changes the play style.
It's cool.
fun.
It seems good. And then the
Yeah.
Metroidvania part, so far I haven't gotten far enough to know if that's actually good or not, but I saw that you can use your monster's abilities in the world, which is kind of neat. So, like, I could
Yeah,
shoot
you can
bubbles at a
cycle through
wall or whatever, and I'm sure some of them will have, like, jump abilities or flying and that kind of stuff. So, I'm curious to see how that stuff works out. It seems cool.
Yeah, some can like pick you up and carry you over long distances, and then some can cut through vines.
Did you
Yes.
find the one that can cut through vines?
No, I'm not sure which
'Cause I did
actual
not.
animal it is, but I saw it in the trailers.
Okay.
I think it's the cat. He has a sword that will
I
cut
did
through
not
it.
get the cat.
I just don't know what attack it is. It might be in the skill tree.
Kind of cat with a sword? Now you're talking my language.
Yeah.
I'm down with that.
The only thing I don't like is it feels a little weird is how it grades your combat at the end.
3 stars.
And
2
it
stars.
feels real Angry Birds to me.
I don't usually like that in games, but this also like affects your drops and stuff too. So the faster you can get through combat, the better drops you'll get. Like I like that there's some sort of like there's a reason to do combat well and not just be like, well, I'm just gonna tank and heal and soak up all the damage and it'll take me 13 turns, but I'll get through it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's something to like abusing the weaknesses and stuff, and making sure you have the right team going into certain fights and stuff. That is kind of neat.
Just get good.
Just get
I
good.
don't know. I just don't like the
No,
star
just get
system
good,
on
though.
it.
No, I see what you're
Get more
saying. No, like,
stars.
there's like an anxiety built into that, right? It's like, oh well, fuck, I only got 2 stars.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I got 2 stars. I guess I really sucked that fight.
Want to hit restart on that one?
Yeah.
That is something that I have with like a lot of action games I've played do that. I remember like Devil May Cry would do that. I'd come out of a combat feeling good, and it's like, oh, you scored a C minus in that combat. I'm just like, great, I'm gonna go do something different now.
Yeah, guess I'm bad at this. Thanks. Yeah. My only complaint is that the music is just kind of bad. Like
I didn't notice
at
that.
its best, it's
I didn't notice it
unnoticeable, and at its worst, it is like just straight up. There's like percussion that doesn't match with the actual like melody and stuff, which it threw me way off. I don't know. It's a small nitpick. Maybe they're still working on it. I hope. I don't know.
This is like
Super
not
early.
even necessarily early access
Yeah,
yet.
it's like
Yeah.
2 years away from release, from their estimated release. It's on Kickstarter right now.
I'll just say I hope that the music is kind of placeholder right now. Then I guess is all
Sure
I'm
is.
saying.
'Cause I think my only other complaint was the jumping felt very odd.
it's very floaty. Yeah.
It was very floaty, didn't feel good, but they can tweak that as well to make it better.
Yeah.
I like it a lot so far. If it wasn't just a demo, I would definitely keep playing it.
Yes, we'll check in on it.
It's a Kickstarter. Get in there for $17
Yep.
US.
Start up the
So,
kicks.
it's
Start
got
the kicks.
potential. I like it. It is coming to Switch. That was one of their stretch goals. If they hit
And they hit
60
it?
grand, and they did hit it. They're at like 62 or 63,000 right now.
That is appealing to me then.
Yeah. Downside is that it will come to PC first and then get ported to Switch, which is the whole story of the Switch.
Yeah.
But it is
think
cool that
it's-
it's coming out.
So I'll give it about 4 years. Then I'll be back. And on the Nintendo Switch, I'll check it out in about 4 years. All right.
I think it's interesting how this like pixel art style. I don't know, like I felt like it was a fad for a while, but it's really hung around. Like
I think
I'm-
it's
I'm
super
good with it because like it holds up over time. Like
Exactly.
there's a lot of other games that's like, oh, this game's 6 years old and it looks like shit. Well, you know, this is going to look just fine in 6 years.
Mhm.
You go back to play Link to the Past, and it to me looks fantastic because of the way that they did the art style.
Hmm.
And I think it's I mean it's kind of a utilitarian thing too. Like one person
Yeah.
is making this game, and one person made Stardew Valley, and like they're arguably beautiful games. Like the art is compelling, and
Yep.
it's, you know, you can do these sprites. You could bang them all out, and you know, I'm not trying to trivialize the amount of time it takes, but certainly a lot less time than modeling a 3D character and doing the textures for it and the animations, and you know, it's all separate processes. Where this is, you know, you do a few variations on the sprite and you're good. So yeah, it's good. I'm happy that this is sticking around, like you said, Brian. That's like it's back and doesn't seem to be going away. It's cool.
Yep.
16-bit era is one of the best video gaming eras ever, so I'll take more stuff in that vein all the
Yeah,
time.
I saw this one and I kind of thought like, oh, there's just a lot of fucking buzzwords jammed into that, but you know, they're all my buzzwords, so
Mhm.
okay, you're
It's a-
forgiven.
That's a smoothie that you'll drink happily.
Yep.
Yeah, good stuff. What else you guys been playing?
I've been playing a little more Astrobot
Okay.
Rescue Mission in the old VR.
Mm-hmm.
I finished it a couple weeks ago. I was going to go back and try to get the Platinum Trophy. I don't think I'm going to do that now. But I've just been revisiting each world, trying to get all the little mans in each world. You're just looking for a reason to come back to it because it's such a. This might be the best VR game.
So why are you not going to get the platinum?
There are these optional like challenge missions that are these little timed, you know, like here's an obstacle course to get through and try to do it in under a minute and a half, and I really hate that. Like,
Oh,
you know, that kind of timed thing really
Mhm.
stresses me out in games.
But
Yeah,
this is
that's
like just find a hidden dude in each level.
Yeah, there's eight hidden mans in each level, and on some levels I didn't get them all, so
Hmm.
gives me an excuse to go back and play through them again. This is the underwater one
That's cool.
you're seeing here.
Very
So
cool.
yeah, this is just such a polished game. Like it feels like a Nintendo product. When we're talking about, you know, like character
Mhm.
action games and character platformers, that's high praise.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely giving off Mario Mario vibes a
Mhm.
lot. Especially with just playing Odyssey, it seems like it's taking a lot of cues from that. It's cool.
Yep, it was a little short, but I'm very happy to go back and revisit things.
It's good stuff, man.
Beyond
good
that, I
one.
played a little more of the Obra Dinn, the Return of the Obra
Return
Dinn.
of the Obra Dinn, yeah.
I am just super terrible at that game. Like, that's a very taxing, focused game, and I'm okay with that, but I'm also bad at it.
It was
So I'll play
funny.
it for an hour, then I'm exhausted. I'm just like, well, I just found out, I just
Bad
reinforced
things.
how bad I am.
Yeah, you kept saying that. You're just like, God, I'm not good at this game. This isn't a my kind of game.
It's so cool, though. It's such a well-made, neat, creative thing. Like, I might play with my wife because she enjoys this kind of puzzle,
Mm.
or I don't.
I guess I installed it and like I've been wanting to play it, but hearing you be like, I'm bad at this, I can't do this game, like it has really been like a well,
Well,
I don't know if
our,
if you're bad at it, I'm gonna be terrible at it.
well, our minds work differently,
That's
I'm
true.
sure. And, like, I might play this with my wife. But yeah, like, at the beginning of the game, you get a book with a picture of all 60 people that were on the ship. When their faces are no longer blurred out, that means you've gotten enough clues to be able to figure out who they are, by deduction.
Mm-hmm.
There are a whole lot of people in that book where it's like, I'm supposed to know who that is. I have no fucking idea who that is. There's
Huh.
probably a good dozen or so where I just look through the book. I'm just like, well, I'm clearly not able to handle this.
Huh. Well, that's
So
I don't know. I'll still probably give it a try because it does look super super neat.
I'm open to
I
go
get
through
it.
it with my wife. Like, it really is. I'm very, very impressed with it. And I wish I was, I don't know, I wish I was able to sort it out better, just keeping all that stuff in my head. And
I remember, I think it was last week. You were like, you left work and you were like, I just had a breakthrough. I just I just sorted something out. I didn't think I
Yep.
was thinking about it, but it just clicked in my head. I gotta go home and punch this
Yep.
in. And
I was like, I know who shot that guy. I'll bet you. I got to keep
Were
it in
you
my head
right?
for the next 45 minutes. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Like, you can go through and you can say, okay, like, this is the person's name. They were killed in this manner by,
with the candlestick,
whoever.
and yeah, Mr. Mustard,
um,
Colonel Mustard.
by like every 3 that you get correct, it'll lock them in.
Oh, okay.
So,
Hmm.
I don't know.
Well, it sure is a unique looking game.
You should try it.
I'll at least try it. Yeah.
Don't let my, my
You're suffering.
ineptitude
Yeah.
put you off. It's fantastic.
All right. Well, that's pretty cool. I'll have to check that out someday. Someday soon.
There's a story on a pirate ship, Tyler. You like stories?
I
and you
do like
pirate
that.
ships.
I do like that. I see there's some supernatural things going on too, which
Yep. It's
is
got a lot
definitely
of personality.
in my wheelhouse. So there we go. Well, with that, let's dive into a little bit of the old news. Maybe if it plays. It's happening a lot lately. There it goes.
Give old 2 a whirl.
Give the old 2 a whirl. Yeah, number 2. It's getting all broken up. I don't know. Something weird's going on with my soundboard. I'll have to get that sorted out. Boy, I love troubleshooting. Anyway, hey, in the news, we found out a little bit more about the next Sea of Thieves expansion. Luke, what did you find in the Shrouded Spoils news?
They basically teased it a little bit. Sounds like it's going to be one of their smaller updates.
Mm-hmm.
But they're introducing something I think you and I talked about before and got excited about, which is fog.
Yeah, I remember a time not so very long ago when fog was something that you would criticize a developer for putting in their game very heavily. And yet here we are asking for him to put it in.
Sailing through fog and just coming out of fog to attack someone just sounds like the coolest thing.
It's a moment.
Yeah. I can't wait just to come rolling out of fog.
Seeing our lanterns, come
Yup.
come through the
and
veil.
just attack some poor ship and just scaring the shit out of them. It'll be fantastic.
It does seem pretty cool. Although if we thought Kring hit the boat a lot before, Jesus,
God.
or hit the islands before, we're fucked now.
Well, they said it's going to make the crow's nest actually useful, so that we don't actually tend to utilize a whole lot, except for gunpowder storage.
Storing our gunpowder in a place where it
Yep.
can't hurt the boat. Yeah.
But you can see over the fog and down, so it'll be more of a navigator up there. So
It does seem cool. Yeah.
yeah, they're tweaking it so that a position that isn't hardly ever used is becoming useful again.
Yeah.
More ship cosmetics. The cannons, the wheel, and the capstan you'll be actually able to buy cosmetics for.
That's
What
cool.
is a capstan?
It's to raise the anchor.
It's
Raise and
the
lower the
it's
anchor.
the anchor
The
turny
wheelie
thingy.
thing.
Yeah, the wheelie thing.
turny.
Yeah. Yeah. Wheelie turny thing. Yeah. Capstan, wheelie turny thing. I don't know. Take your pick.
I think that. And then something for you, Tyler. Pirate Legend Commendations.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah, so you have something to do now that you're a pirate legend. and
It is too often.
none of us are.
It is too often when Kring likes to spout the line, "I don't give a shit about the loot," when we're discussing things, and I'm like, "Well, I don't give a shit about it either, really." So
And here I am, like, no, I still need the
I
rep,
care about the
guys."
loot. Yeah. So once you hit Pirate Legend, it's kind of like, well, I like gold. Don't get me wrong, got to have the gold, but I'm not trying to rank up my reputation anymore. So having like meta goals, I think, is what they're introducing. Is stuff to do while either on Athena voyages or just in general, things to still be working towards an unlock. Seems good. So I'm excited about that. It's been a slow news week, guys. Niantic is adding a feature to Pokemon Go that I've been asking for. They sell these like add-on things that are basically like a fitness band for Pokemon Go that'll like keep track of your steps and stuff while the app is idle. My biggest complaint is like even when I'm walking, it doesn't do that? You still have to have it open?
It still tracks by GPS. It just makes it so that the app doesn't have to be actually running.
Right.
It can be minimized, but it still tracks by GPS. It does not do steps.
Okay, so like for me, I don't have that. I have to, when I'm walking my dog and stuff, and I want to just be, I don't care about catching anything. I just want to like get credit for walking my buddy or whatever, or my eggs. I have to actually have the thing open, so I can't be like, watching a YouTube video or texting to you guys on Hangouts or whatever. I have to just have the game open. And so this update is going to sync with the built-in health tracking stuff that is in everybody's phones right now, so it won't have to do that. My phone already knows how many steps I take a day. It tells me how many stairs I've gone up, if I've biked, like all of that stuff. My phone just knows that. It knows how much I sleep. It's kind of creepy. But you can find all that data on your phone already, so this is just going to hook into that and use that stuff instead.
Knows
This
if
is
you've been
huge.
naughty, knows if you've been nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's my Santa Claus.
This is huge because instead of having the GPS
It's
running
my pocket
at,
Santa.
at full blast, draining your battery, instead it'll just check in with Google Fitness or Apple Health and
Right.
say, "Oh, you walk so many steps, that's going to count towards your stuff."
Yeah, that's cool.
So it actually makes it more of a fitness app, which is what I used it for this summer for the most part, was getting out and walking. And I like that. That's
Yeah.
cool. And they're going to give you rewards based on like how much you walk or how many calories you've burnt, stuff like that.
So all I need to do is just strap my phone to my dog and let him go in my backyard. Just rack up all my points.
Yep,
There
there
you
you go.
Just problem solved. That's Luke, didn't you say there was a surprise GDQ that popped up too?
Yeah, I think we actually talked about it a while back.
Oh, okay.
The Games Done Quick that they're doing during TwitchCon and I completely forgot that TwitchCon was this weekend.
Yeah. Did you catch any of it?
I watched a few streams earlier. Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze was actually really, really good.
Get your Funky Kong?
Yeah, the guy was actually playing as Funky Kong.
That's funny.
Which was cool. Because it's literally like one of the things that they said in the review when I was looking into the game is that Funky Kong is the thing for speed running.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because like it just gives you so many options for chaining things together and bouncing off of stuff.
Oh, gotcha. Huh.
So this mode was for Funky Kong, and yeah, they were really, really good at it, and it was entertaining.
Did you say that there was a blind run of something?
Yeah, there was an donation incentive for a guy to do a blindfolded Castlevania Symphony of the Night run. And it was all hyped up. They're like, "Yeah, this is the run that you need to see for this weekend. It's gonna
blind
be so good."
run hype.
And then I watched it before we started streaming this. I'm like, "Sorry, but this is awful." It was
boring.
Bad. It was this guy like bumping into walls, trying to fumble his way around as if he was blind. And then trying to pull off a trick and failing for like 10-15 minutes straight.
You know what would have been great is if they like cut to what if he wouldn't have been blindfolded. No, I think it would be cool if they would like periodically cut to like his perspective and it's just a black screen. Like, you know, you still get all the sound and everything, but it's just like, oh, there's like a little caption that says runner view or whatever. I think
Runner's POV.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be pretty good.
Oh, that'd be even worse.
Yeah, so, maybe don't do blind runs. Maybe don't do that.
Yeah, probably not. I'm looking to see how much money they've raised so far, though. It is 58,000 since yesterday, so I don't know what it's going towards. That's the TwitchCon charity thing. So it's probably a few different things.
Sounds good. Well, you know what that means. It's the end of the news. It means it's
what time is it?
It's time for
what time is it?
One of these.
Tell me.
Let me make sure. Here it goes. It's a topic. It is a topic. This week, the topic is...
It's always good. It's always good.
It is a topic.
Yep. It is a topic. And this week the topic is, what is a game that you like in a series that you don't? And this question is kind of cherry-picked for Brian because I knew what his answer was going to be before I even finished typing the words. But Brian, take it away. What's your answer for that?
Well, Tyler, my answer for that is Final Fantasy Tactics.
Yeah, there you go.
Because that is probably my favorite game ever. And I do not like any other game in the Final Fantasy series. As much as I love Japanese RPGs, I cannot get behind, the biggest Japanese RPG series out there. I have tried.
Yeah.
Many times.
Nothing for it.
There's something about them that just always pushes me away every time.
Yeah, what's weird about Final Fantasy is like I've tried a few of the other games in the series. I played 7. I think I've told the story on the show before, but like that was I never got to play 7 because I didn't have a PlayStation when I was, growing up. And when I finally got a PS2, I didn't have enough money to buy any PS2 games, so I went and bought a used copy of Final Fantasy 7 and finally played it. And I loved it. Like I really enjoyed that game and was like, oh, this is what I've been missing out on. Like, for me, it lived up to the hype, and I really liked it. And every other time I tried to play a Final Fantasy game, just fell right off. Like, I tried 6 a few years later, going back to 6, and I was just kind of like, it's fine, but I don't love it. And
there's usually something cool paired up with something that really pisses me off.
Yeah.
Like, God, I played 1 on the NES. I played 7, 10, 10-2, 12, and 15.
The numbers alone, the naming conventions alone are enough to piss me off in a lot of these cases. Yeah.
I was close to loving 10-2. as dumb as it was. I loved it because it was dumb. It was
That was the
Yuna
singing one?
from Final Fantasy X. Yep, it was just like, oh, the girls from Final Fantasy X are just J-pop stars because fuck it, who cares? And I was just like, okay. And,
That sounds
yeah,
like
they could
hideous.
they could change job classes on the fly. It was like you're getting all these different job classes, and I love that.
Didn't you do it by
like,
like
well-
changing outfits? Like
Yep.
did costume change and like now you're a sorceress or whatever?
Yep.
Yeah.
That was the big thing with Final Fantasy Tactics is you could change job classes, but you could cherry pick different skills from different classes. So you could very much roll your own character.
Gotcha.
Be like, I'm gonna be a time mage who can wield swords because
Just fuck
That's
it. That's
what I
what I
want.
feel like doing today. Yeah. That's
and
good.
the system was really cool in Final Fantasy X too, except all the combat was real time. So I kept finding myself digging through menus for shit while I was getting beaten up. And nope, fuck all that. That's a hard pass.
Yeah.
They paired something I love with something I hate, and that's been a running theme.
Hmm.
I love the setup for 15. Don't like the combat.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. I was trying to think if there's any others for me. It's tough. It's more of like what's a game in a series that you've played but you didn't play any of the other ones. Like it's not so much I don't like the other ones, it's that I just haven't. I've only played one of them.
Right.
Doom. I played the original Doom and the original Wolfenstein, Return to Castle Wolfenstein, all that stuff. So technically, I've played those. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's just like such an outlier.
Or it's like a long running series that you've ignored except
Yeah.
for one.
Like I played Warcraft 3. I didn't play any of the other Warcraft RTSs. RTSs in general aren't a thing that I dig, but I did like Warcraft 3. I played Reign of Chaos and Frozen Throne to completion. And that was after I played WoW, so it's like it was kind of a I want to go back and see
Yeah.
where this all came from thing. But I have no interest in going back to the original Orcs and Humans
One and
or Tides of Darkness, I think was
Yeah.
2. Yeah.
Yep.
No thanks. I think they're free. I think you can get them from Blizzard's
think so.
website and just play them, but not really a thing for me. But yeah. Luke, you got anything, huh?
I can't think of a single example.
It's tough because it's like a lot of times, you know, it might be a long running series, but maybe you've played 2 of them, you know, or like,
Right.
you know, it's not.
Like, I've jumped into series after they went out for a while. Like, I didn't play Far Cry 1 or 2. I jumped in at 3.
Yup.
So
Same
I've played
here.
since then.
That's weird for me. That's hard for me to do. I've got a thing where it's like if I'm gonna like this, then I want to start at the beginning and go through it, and that's not really a good idea with most video game series, most long-running game series.
Oh, Far Cry doesn't have a continuing story, so it's easy to jump into
Yeah.
one after the other.
Oh God. Well, here's maybe it. Hell, I don't know. See, a lot of this isn't fair too because a lot of them I've played and then didn't play more recent ones. Like, so it's not that I wouldn't. I just haven't given them a chance.
Right.
But I did that with Hitman. I bought on PS2. There was a value deal where you could get Hitman 1, 2, and 3. It was all for like $25 or something. It was a really good deal. I bought them used and got a good deal on it years and years ago. And I remember looking at them, and it was like Hitman. God, I should look them up. I should know what they're called. But it was like
Absolution. There's
there's
been a few.
It was weird because it wasn't called Hitman 1, 2, and 3. It was Hitman something, Hitman 2, and then Hitman Blood Money. And so I remember like, oh, I've heard all kinds of things about Blood Money. That's probably the first one. And so I played that one first. And I fucking loved that game. And I was like, okay, well, I should probably play 2 next. So once I finished it, I was like, cool, I'll start off 2. And I was like, whoa, this looks like shit. What is going on here? Like, controls were really bad. And, like, it looked way worse. And I was like, wait a minute. And so I, like, went online and looked it up. And I was like, fuck, I did this in reverse order. I started with the third one. And now I'm going backwards. And I was like, oh, yeah,
That's
these
tough.
these are garbage.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I played this one. It was so good. I loved it so much. And then Like, I had to go back and it was just like progressively worse.
Went on to some message boards to see
What have I
was up.
done? yeah. So, but that's one where like God.
The 2016 one's supposed to be fantastic.
Absolution was, I think, before that, and that's been on my wish list forever, and I've seen it get down to like $10. I still haven't pulled the trigger on it, and I think I finally had to just remove it and realize like I'm not gonna ever play that game. And the more recent one, I think it's just called Hitman. Was supposed to be really good, and I think they're making a sequel to that. And
I think it's either out or coming out very, very soon.
yeah, I heard them talking about for the last one they did like a user poll, and it was who do you want to see get like basically as an assassination target in the next Hitman game. And it was like something weird like Gary Busey or I can't remember who else, but Gary Busey won. And this time it's Boromir, what's his name?
Sean Bean.
And he's called like the Invincible or Indestructible or Unkillable or something like that. So it's a play on this idea that like he's right. He's dying and everything,
Dead
but he's not going to be in here.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
I think that's awesome. Yeah, but yeah, that's Hitman. Don't play them out of order. There you go. There's your lesson for the day. But with that, that's going to be the end of the show, folks. Thank you for joining us. If you followed along at twitch.tv/questlogcast, we do the show live every week right there. If you don't catch it live, you can find us at questlogcast.com or wherever you get your podcasts. You can email the show. You can do that right at mail@questlogcast.com. And Visitor.us is where you'd go if you want to hear more of this cool music that you're hearing at the end. So check out Visitor stuff. It is rad. That's all I got.
I forgot to talk about Red Dead Redemption 2. Shit.
Oh, whoops, darn. Well, we're saving it for Kring. Kring actually bought it and played it, so
yeah, I guess that helps.
maybe he'll show up next week for episode 99 of Questlog.
99.
Yeah, look at that. That's got to be that's some kind of number. That's a number. It's close to 100. Anyway, thank you for joining us. We will catch you guys next week.
Goodbye.
Take care.